Hi, this is a reading for you. It is not attached to a zodiac sign nor a timeline. The intention is if you come across this reading, it should benefit you in some way. That being said, if you enjoy it, if it resonates, there is an extended version available on my Patreon, which is the best way to support me as an independent artist and creative. That being said, if you want to book a personal reading with me, I have several options for personal readings available on my website in the shop. Like, subscribe, share, all that. So, representing you is the Six of Swords and the Four of Wands. This is maybe trying to find your way towards happiness or celebration or a certain landmark. It could also be moving away from that, like onto the next chapter, but intuitively that's not really how I'm taking it. It's more so like going through the process of bettering your life or your situation, maybe even seeking happiness or trying to understand what that is for you. Because behind you, with the Ten of Wands, there's been a massive burden that you've been carrying. But in a lot of ways, this is a card of reaching completion because he's, getting ready to unload his wood there at the destination that's just ahead. And so I think that this process of struggle has kind of brought you a lot of clarity, and you're trying to really focus your sights on your highest version of living, how you can transcend and or like maybe reach a goal, because it also seems like there's a tremendous amount of potential here that you're moving towards, that you're sort of trusting the process with. You could also be taking a leap of faith like towards a person possibly. That's not really the message I get here, though in some ways I could see that, because ahead of you there's justice. So there's this sense of something being balanced in your life. And also I feel like you might be focused on cultivating ideal character traits, like trying to sort of become a better person, for lack of a better word. Not like you're a terrible person or something, but just trying to sort of improve your way of conducting yourself. But also, when I clarify the justice, we get the Magician and the King of Cups. So, these are two figures represented together. You could take it as two different people interacting with each other in a way. But also, again, I feel like this is symbolic of cultivating one's character traits, because it could be like emotional or internal alchemy, like trying to find balance or trying to transform how you feel about things, how you see things, and so on. And with the the Nine of Cups on your mind, this is a card of like wanting to reach some level of wish fulfillment. But also for me, it's very much a card of knowing, like he's set this up before, he's lined these cups up before, so he knows how to do it. You have an idea of solution, you have the recipe for wish fulfillment, you know what to do. Also, I feel like this could be wanting to be more nurturing and or giving to others. Again, wanting to cultivate better character traits, maybe wanting to be more of service, because again, what is this guy going to do with all these cups? And so, also I think that it's kind of looking backwards, like understanding that the burden that, your old behaviors or selfishness has brought you, or just the old way of doing things, or whatever it is, it's like you've learned lessons through that and have learned how to evolve past it, or you're in the process of learning to grow past it. But you maybe hold on to certain things, like whatever it may be, right? It could be anything from stubbornness to bad habits to ways of thinking. Like there's things here that you're not quite ready to let go of yet, or you don't feel like you are. And it's sort of like almost lying to yourself even, because because even in the outcome here, it's like there's certain things you're ignoring or overlooking due to fear. But I also get the feeling that there could be some fear of missing the details or not paying attention to what you need to pay attention to. And, you know, and I think there is something to that, because the outside influence seems, for one, this is someone who feels sort of indecisive or stuck about what to do. And this also implies a sense of innocence with their approach or sincerity. It could also talk about nostalgia or reflecting on the past or like home, family, things like that. But it's a very innocent sort of card. There could also be people questioning your innocence or your motives or something like that, possibly. And, you know, in the fears and passions with the Chariot, the Five of Cups, and Temperance, I feel like you maybe have a tendency to doubt yourself or feel like you're not going to be able to make the changes necessary, or you won't be able to like reach that goal, or, you know, because maybe you've gone through different cycles of this kind of thing, and you might be getting frustrated with yourself of like, will this ever end? You know, and I think that that's a valid question to ask, especially with this outcome, being, you know, ignoring certain things maybe deliberately, but also it, you know, I think that you could be putting off a lot of internal work by just focusing on maybe professional things or sort of keeping yourself busy, that kind of thing. But the stuff that you don't address is still going to go unaddressed, and it's still going to keep coming up until it is addressed. So there's a need for a balanced approach to all of this. I'm gonna pull a couple of cards for what to expect in the near future. And then after that, I'm gonna carry this reading over to my Patreon, where I'll do a whole separate spread for advice on handling the situation and the best ways to proceed forward. So I think it's interesting, because I think especially with, you know, your sort of anxiety that's represented here around not being able to progress as much as you would like. I do think that you overcome that challenge, because behind you, there's sort of this sense of resting on your laurels and having faith for things to get better, not necessarily knowing what to do, not necessarily being willing to try new things or explore, but you have faith and confidence in what you're doing and in the fact that everything will sort of pan out. But currently, or more so, you stepped into faith with things more recently, or you started taking those actions more consistently. And this is bringing about positive results for you, particularly if you're trying to be seen in any kind of way, or like stand out in a specific field, or anything like that, or sort of a more formal celebration even, or being initiated into something, or starting something, or graduating something. Point being is like the results of your actions, though maybe a bit inconsistent or maybe you hold some doubt, you are starting to see positive results even from maybe not even applying your full effort. And so I think that this is going to sort of inspire a new passion. Also, when things are going well, that's when you might have a tendency to revert back into old habits and things like that. But I think that you're going to be a lot more conservative with your approach to things. And try to make choices that are rooted in stability, and or like forming relationships and connections that are more stable, or things that stabilize you. And also maybe sort of keeping those elements of life in their own compartment in some kind of way, like separating your emotions from your logic and responsibility, like not allowing things to interfere with what needs to be done so much, I suppose. And I think that you're actually building a lot for yourself, because this would suggest being very busy putting things together, like forming a foundation, and maybe even completing one chapter, and now it's sort of time to step into the next thing and start doing that. Also, like, I would say that you've probably built a pretty big picture for yourself, or quite a life for yourself, and now it's like a matter of managing and maintaining all of that, because you have a lot of responsibility or a lot happening around you that requires focus and attention, and the ability to keep balance and harmony with everything. So I'm going to pull an advice spread on my Patreon and take this reading a bit further. If you want to join us over there, that's where all the extended versions of these readings go, as well as other exclusive content. It also grants you access to monthly art prints, and it's the best way, again, to support me as an independent artist and creative. Feel free to like and subscribe. Again, if you want to book a personal reading, I have several options available on my website and the shop. You can access all of that in the description below. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.